in the front setback area. So that is an ordinance that he is wanting to, or requesting to change. So I would guess, Jared, would you have any comments? Have you talked to him? Okay. You understand that to do that we would have to be violating ordinances?
I guess, yeah. You want me to explain what my reasoning is, or you care?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so my reasoning is you drive around this town, 90% of people park in front of their house. Most of them is the exact same thing I'm doing. Even if they've got a garage, they're still parked in front of their house. So being Matt said, that doesn't really matter. I mean, that's just how everybody does it. But also, I need the room behind there to get the water to go down the hill. And so if I keep scooting back, because they said 18 foot's another parking spot, or is what's considered a parking spot, I'm going to run out of room to the back side.
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing you well.
Yeah.
There's some feedback.
All right, can you hear me?
That's better.
All right. So what I'm wanting to do.
Talk slower. Is that what she said?
So what I'm wanting to do is keep the houses scooted forward so I can get the water to drain down on the back side. If I keep shoving it back further, I'm going to run out of room in the back to make all this work as far as the drainage situation goes there. And they're going to be duplexes. They're not going to be single house dwelling units.
Duplexes on that small lot?
Yes, sir. They're going to be 54 by 35. They're 2-bedroom, 1 bath in each duplex. The lots are 75 by 125.
Got it. It seems like I'm having trouble visualizing how much of the lot's going to be left after the house.
Well, there's going to be a 10-foot on both sides. There'll be plenty in the front and plenty in the back, because you're talking 54 feet, and you've got 125 feet to work with.
Yeah. Okay.
How big is the buildings that you're going to put in?
54 by 34.
Yeah, 40 including the front.
Yeah.
A duplex is 34 by 54?
Yeah.
That's, in other words, that's 2 dwelling units is 34 by 54.
Correct. They're just less than 900 square foot each.
Wow.
So that's 68 by 100, right?
I don't know. What are you asking?
Well, is the building, so you said it was 34 by 54 for each duplex?
Yes.
Is that for a half of a building?
No, that's one whole unit.
Okay, it's 34 by 54.
Yes.
Okay, I'm trying to compare it in comparison to a mobile home or something like that.
Oh, no.
Is there a rush to get this project off the ground?
Yeah, I want to get started here fairly quick, and it's been a month and a half trying to get going, and I'm just trying to get it going. Yes, I'd like to get it going. I bought it, and I'm ready to go.
I don't know who's speaking.
Josh Kitcomb.
Oh, okay. I can't see you, Josh. So
Just for information purposes, when the house is built, if I have not misfigured, and it's very possible, he will have 7,549 square feet left over on each house or each lot to do whatever needs to be done. Because each lot is 75 by 125, and that is 5,375 square feet. And that 54 by 34 comes out to 1,826 square feet.
Are these going to be sold off as individual units, or will it be managed by one company?
They're not gonna be sold, I'm gonna own them.
Okay.
I already,
In other words,
so currently I already own, I bought all of Jerry Lehman's rental properties. I own the trailer court in Salem. I have a place out at the industrial park, so I have quite a bit of stuff in the city of Salem.
you say you bought Jerry Lehman's, the one on Pershing?
Yeah, I bought all that whole block there that he owned, and then some other, as other rental houses.
Okay. I'm looking at an aerial view here that Rubenstein and Oak Street and Truman. Am I looking at an aerial view of where you are?
Yes, so it'll be on the it'll be on the north side, or yeah, the north side of Rubenstein, the west side of Oak Street, right there. It's the same L shape kind of that was the city of Salem Street Department's on.
Okay, so right now that's covered with trees
That's correct.
and open land.
Yes.
Okay. At one time, I thought that was designated as green area to go with these apartments. I don't know, to my right of Oak Street, in other words, if you use the east side road, I can't tell what that is.
Yeah, that was that you guys thought you owned that, but you didn't. The city did, and so they surveyed it the other day, and then where the swing set and stuff was, that was on my property there.
I didn't understand that.
On the north end of the lots on Oak Street, there was like there was a playground area. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
Yeah, that was on my property there.
Okay, so you own that strip from Truman all the way through Rubenstein?
No, just from where that park was to the south.
From the park west to where?
To the south, all the way to Rubenstein.
Okay, I can't really tell from my area. Oh, okay.
Right there where that arrow is. Yeah, there you go. I don't know if you can see that.
Okay, so the house is there a house? What's on the corner of Oak and Truman?
That is the city, something to do with the city there. I don't know.
That's one of our wells, Jerry.
Yeah.
Okay, and then whatever is going south from there, we were using as a park for the people that are in this subdivision.
Well, Mr. Kaufman, before Josh, apparently had some playground equipment that I don't know how extensively it was used. Cities never maintained it. I mean, we didn't consider it a city park, and nor should we, since it wasn't on our land. So.
Okay.
So if you can see in the picture on the edge of Oak Street there's a square. That square is the telephone something or other. I'm not sure what it is right there. That's the property line.
Yeah. Okay. So you own everything south of it?
Yep, that is correct.
Okay, now what's over to the left with all, is that the city's, it looks like a lot of gravel
That's our street department shed. Jerry used to be a MoDOT shed before we had it.
Yeah. Okay. Is it still owned by the city?
Yes.
Okay, that's what what MoDOT used to have, you say, but the city has now.
Right.
Okay, then, on the other side of that, I see a bunch of, is that mobile homes?
Yes, on to the west. Yes, there's a mobile home park there.
Okay. Well, going back to Jared, you're the one that looks at things like this. What's your opinion of the space?
There's enough room there, for anything that he's gonna do. The question that we have right now is that, code requires that there be an off-street parking space that's not located in the front setback. That's the matter at hand.
When code requires what, say that again?
An off-street parking space that's not located in the front setback.
In the front setback, okay, so, like, pulling up to the front porch, if these are duplexes, I just can't visualize that. Are they gonna be one behind the other one?
No, there's gonna be several of them facing Oak Street as you go, from the top to the bottom of that, picture right there.
Okay, but is each one gonna be on a separate lot? There's so many lots.
There's several lots down through there. How many? There's 7 or 8?
There's, 9 lots.
9 lots.
Well, 8 and then one turns a corner.
They're 75 feet wide, as they face Oak Street, and 120 feet deep as they go from Oak Street back towards the city garage.
Right, but one duplex won't be on a 75-foot lot, it'll just say, there you go, thank you.
Yes, it will.
Yes. The duplexes will be 54 feet wide, and so there'll be plenty of room, widthways for them to fit and be outside the setbacks.
Okay, but if two families live there, each one can have a car in front of their house, is that what you're saying?
Yes, for every 2 bedrooms, there has to be one off-street parking space, and that's the matter that we're addressing tonight. There has to be one off-street parking space that's not located in the front setback, has to be outside the setback. Mr. Gickham is requesting, an exception to that.
An exception to that, so all the parking then would need to be on the street?
No, what he's requesting is that parking be allowed in the front, that his required off-street parking be located in the front setback instead of outside the front setback.
How wide is that street?
How wide is the street?
40-foot street?
I don't know.
So it looks like on the map.
That's what it looks like on the survey here.
I clarified that it's gonna be a 30 by 30 pad up front for 2 cars to park.
The house itself will be set back from the front property line 30 feet. But code requires that the parking be not in that 30-foot section. Mr. Gickham he's requesting that we do allow the parking in the front setback.
Okay, so there'll be parking allowed, it's just the code doesn't allow it, but our exception would be that people can park facing their house.
Right. His request is that parking be allowed in that front setback area where code currently does not allow.
Okay, so everybody doesn't have to park on the street?
No, they'll be parking in front of the house, but code requires that the parking in front of the house can't be within 30 feet of the property line. So to do this correctly, he had to push his houses back another 20 feet in order to have the parking that's not within the front setback.
No, but you're asking great questions, so we're listening.
Oh, thanks, Liz. Well, I'm just concerned there, you know, we have to be concerned, even though my agent probably shouldn't have been here, but we've got to be concerned about years down the road, because that's what we're for. And there's a housing area right across the street, right, which has a number of, units, is that right? Number of, rental units?
Yes, apartment complex. There's
Yeah,
actually, there are
right.
two,
And so
yeah.
I'm concerned about the traffic pattern and the people there and
I'm just sitting here trying to visualize, that's a lot of lots and the possibility of a lot of cars within pretty
that's right, yeah.
proximity. So if everyone had a minimum of 2 cars,
It's gonna be the same difference if I move it back another 20 feet. It's just
Well, I don't think,
they're just gonna be moved back 20 more feet is the only difference.
oh, okay. You're just saying that the car's gonna come right up to the front of the lot. If they're parked there.
And that's, just to clarify, that is allowed. What code says that one parking space has to be off-street and not located in the front setback. That's not to say that you can't park in the front setback, but you have to have one that's not in the front setback. That's the conversation that we're having.
And if you drive around the city of Salem, even you go over to Odom's developments, they all have a garage, but they all park right out in front of them in that first 30-foot section because their garage is full of crap. That's how it is if I built a garage on these, you know what I mean? So it's gonna be the same difference. They're still gonna park in the first 30 feet, whether I give them another whatever back.
They just don't have a garage.
Right, that's correct.
And for clarity, garages do fit,
Right.
they do, provide that parking space that is outside the front setback. That's,
Yeah.
garages outside the front setback make that, any kind of house then comply with code. But again, not necessarily that they're gonna park in the garage. There's no rules that you can't park in the front setback, but you have to have one, that's what it says, you have to have one outside the front setback.
We ready for a motion?
I don't know if, a waiver is something that this group can vote on. Todd, I'll ask Mary or Attorney Weber. I mean, they can recommend that, you could recommend an ordinance change to the alderman. But I don't know that this is something you all can approve a waiver for. But I'll defer to the legals in here.
Yeah. I'm not, talking about a waiver.
Okay?
I'm talking about a change in our zoning regulations
Well,
that eliminates this parking in front. On anything platted before today, that be removed from all R1, R2, and R3.
Everywhere. Is that what you're saying?
What?
It's to be removed everywhere?
Everywhere. Anything platted before today. They're all violated anyway, so.
I don't know.
Anything platted after today, then it would apply.
I mean, is that Todd?
That is.
Todd, are you saying that after today, it wouldn't be just these lots, it would be any lots in town because of the change?
Any new lot that was platted and accepted by the city after today would require the parking space. Anything before that would not.
I'm not following.
he was saying that in essence, existing parking setback would just apply to property platted after whatever date the ordinance goes into effect. The existing plats that would not apply to, if I'm understanding.
That's
that
what I'm
correctly.
saying. let's take care of the problem once and for all, instead of every time somebody went through something, we have to make a special exception.
Well, that concerns me because this is not a main thoroughfare, but what if we had the same circumstance in a very busy thoroughfare, where they're, pulling on and off the street would be more of an issue. So I don't know that I is doing this from now forward without being able to look at each circumstances the way to go.
I thought the purpose of this meeting was for an exception,
Yes.
not to change in everything.
I don't think we have the right to make an exception.
Well, if we don't, then that answers the question for me. Is our legal person there?
Yeah, I'm present. I tend to agree with
Oh, okay.
Mr. Kennard. I don't see where there's necessarily authority for you to make an exception either. I think you can recommend an ordinance change. I think that in order to grant a variance, it actually probably has to go to the Board of Adjustment.
If they don't vote to recommend an ordinance change.
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand the last part of what was said.
Just reading through the ordinances, I don't see where the Planning and Zoning Commission has the authority to grant an exception. I think that if there's an exception or variance to be granted, I think that it actually has to go before the Board of Adjustment. Now, there is an ordinance relating to subdivisions. Let me find it real quick. In chapter 410, pull it up. That states that whenever the strict enforcement of regulations would entail unusual difficulties or hardships, the Commission and Board of Aldermen may vary or modify them in such a way that the subdivider be allowed to plan and develop his or her property and record a plat of the same, provided, however, that the public welfare and interest in the municipality be fully protected and the general intent and spirit of the regulations be preserved. There's an argument to be made that that could apply here, but I think that if you go over to the Board of Adjustments section, find it again, I had it a minute ago. In 405 for zoning regulations. Just a second.
Well, we could only recommend anyway, we can make a change.
All right, I think if there's a variance to be granted, I think it actually has to go through the Board of Adjustment.
Okay.
Do that, just kicks the ball down the street another time. We can make an ordinance recommendation, and if the alderman accepts it, then we've got the problem taken care of here and henceforth. Is there a second to my motion? I'll second.
I didn't hear your motion yet.
My motion is that the requirement that requires, start over. My motion is that parking in the 30-foot space in front of the building is only would apply to newly platted land taken into the city. It would not apply to any existing platted property in the city. In R1, R2, and R3.
If you're saying it would apply to anybody else anywhere else, now, it's just anything that came in after today.
Any lot that was platted after this ordinance, the requirement would apply to. But no existing plats will be required will be prohibited from parking in the 30-foot offset. You drive around the neighborhood, there's more of them off the street than on the street.
If I could, I think that we're still a little bit confused about what this actually says. Parking is permitted in the front setback. The way it is now, parking is absolutely permitted. What code requires is that there's one off-street parking space that is not in the front setback. That is not to say that you can't park in the front setback, but you have to have at least one that's not in the front setback.
Okay, that's what I mean.
Okay, I just want to make sure that, because you can park in the front setback now.
You can now, okay.
Yes, but you're required to have one that's not in the front setback.
Okay, my motion is we not require one space be outside of the 30-foot setback. Is that,
That we not require one space?
to be behind the property, or in a garage or whatever. I will second that.
Everybody understand the motion? What he said was legal.
Please.
So you can already park in front, but this is not requiring an off-street.
It currently requires you park behind one space for 2 bedrooms behind the 30 feet. I'm saying that will not apply except on newly plotted properties taken, as they're taken into the city. That's not right. Newly plotted properties taken in the city will require a space behind, like the ordinance reads. But any existing land that's been taken in the city and plotted will not be required to have a parking space, one parking space for every 2 bedrooms behind the 30-foot setback from the street.
Now, if I understand, okay, let me just clear this. If I understand what you're saying, any planted lots are prior to planning and zoning does not have to apply to planning and zoning rules.
Only for the setback, only for the setback.
Only for the setback.
Only for the parking, only for the requirement that the setback is still required, all that, but the requirement to have one parking space behind the 30-foot, I'm saying it should not apply to anything that's previously taken into the city.
It's not basically behind. It could be over to the side.
It's behind the 30-foot line though, right?
It could
So
be
if it's behind the
to
30-foot,
the side, it'd still be 30 foot, but it's to the side of the building, correct?
Well, from your property line, your front property line back 30 feet, all the way across.
Okay.
One parking space has to be outside of that 30 feet,
behind. No,
or behind, but yeah. That has to be located not within that 30 foot.
So it could be further back, more or less.
I'm saying that only applies to new properties taken in, new platted property taken into the city. Any existing things been platted in, if that requirement will not apply behind that 30-foot line.
So what you're suggesting is amending the ordinance to make an exception for all previously platted property within the city.
Yeah, whatever you want to call
That would be the simple way to do it.
it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Do you understand everything?
I think I understand what he's saying.
Okay.
Is let's make an exception for the properties that are currently platted from this specific ordinance. And I think you're saying recommend that ordinance be amended to show that exception for all previously platted properties prior to this date.
That's what I'm trying to say. The requirement for one parking space for 2 bedrooms behind the 30-foot setback. 30-foot setback will still exist, and sides, everything else will not be impacted. And that would be my recommendation to the alderman. Then we take care of the problem henceforth. There's not a lot of it out there anyway. Just a lot here and there. And then the first LS come in and say, everybody else is doing it, why are you picking on me? It's not gonna change the town any. It's a big new subdivision.
My opinion is that's still what it is.
I think it's clear.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. I want you to write that motion down.
Okay.
Those that are on Zoom, do you understand the motion?
Would you reread the motion, please?
Well, if you want to see it written, you can do.
The motion maker is going to write the motion in paper.
Where's our secretary?
He was supposed to have been here. Joe, you're not secretary tonight.
I'm not secretary.
Above my paper.
Keith, if you can hear me when they vote, you'll need to allow your microphone to be used by Zoom.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Thank you, sir.
Is this a commercial or?
How come? You just can't see it. Okay, well, I look better that way, I can tell you. I've never used my camera on this computer. I don't know how to use it. Just got one on. Big shine right in. Yeah, I'm looking right at it. I don't know.
It says your camera's unmuted.
It says what?
Your camera's showing unmuted, so we ought to see your video.
I've got a thing here. I've got it says join audio and then it says stop video. I've got two. Are you the 2100 number, right?
Yeah, that's what we're doing the audio through.
Well, I've got one down here with my number on it. I've got one up here with my name on it. And where's Craig? Craig was on there a while ago.
Yeah, he's still connected.
I'm there. Huh. I don't know. Technology. Stay on the back. I got another one. I got to go through.
Okay.
You got it wrote down?
I gotta go down.
The motion is that we recommend to the Board of Aldermen that the existing requirement for one parking place per two bedroom behind the 30-foot setback in R1, R2, R3 only applied to plats accepted after the enactment of the ordinance, of this ordinance, planning and zoning ordinance.
Recommended.
Did everybody understand that? We have a motion and we have a second. Call for the vote. Okay, going to call for the vote. Committee member Knurk.
Yes.
Committee member Sheldon.
Yes.
Committee member Craig.
No.
Committee member Condrey.
No.
Committee member Inman.
No.
I got to vote no as well, because it's in the existing ordinances. And it's just a be something, and I gotta put a vote on that, so let's. So, with that being said, the next thing for you to do is go before Planning and Zoning Board of Adjustment. Would that be correct?
I believe so.
Okay.
Here's that.
Ryan Whitaker. It's, the chairman, Trudy Hale, Ryan Whitaker, Rob Benowitz, Larry Adamick, and Bob Parsons. They will have to have a meeting and, go from there.
Sounds good. Guess you'll set that up. Let me know when.
Mr. President, is there anything else?
I'm leaving you.
Hey, Gary,
Yes,
Is there anything else?
Hold on, stay legal until we get a motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn? Right here, motion?
second?
Yep, second. All in favor, say aye, go in the house, except you people already there. Enjoy it.
Thank you all for your patience.
I don't know what they're thinking.